Greetings and welcome to another episode of Deciding to Soar, Living Life Your Own Way. I am so excited that you are here and thank you so much for your grace because I have not recorded a new episode because I was dealing with tons of feelings from the election. I was feeling frustrated and angry and anxious, and I wanted to land somewhere emotionally and spiritually and to ground myself so that I could look at the world through the eyes of possibility, even in the midst of pain, and look at the world as a place to build, to grow, to create, and to contribute despite the political environment that we find ourselves in. So that took a couple of weeks, but I'm so grateful that I'm here and I'm so grateful to share some of the words of wisdom that I have learned from my elders and some of my ancestors that have helped me navigate challenging seasons in my life individually as well as politically. And so, if you have a pen and paper, I want you to reconsider or consider how these tidbits, how these lessons can apply to your life as you are navigating your own individual, collective, institutional journey so that we appreciate that no election can impact our elevation. No type of results can make us feel hopeless. It can create barriers, but every barrier, every challenge, every problem, every circumstance can be overcome when we keep these lessons in our not minds, but also keep these lessons in our hearts and in our souls. So here are some lessons I want you to consider as you are navigating and feeling your way in this new season that we all are going to embark in come January. The first thing my ancestors used to say is, if it didn't stop us, don't let it stop you. If it didn't stop us, don't let it stop you. One of the things that I really enjoy being around older people, people who have not just grown old, but have also grown wise, is that they remind me that history is filled with stories of resilience. When we think about my ancestors, my African ancestors, my African American ancestors, I am reminded that they overcame insurmountable challenges from enslavement, war, systemic oppression, displacement. They went through many storms, but they found a way to press forward. They found a way to build families and schools and hospitals and cultures and legacies despite limited means, despite encountering all types of political and systemic barriers. And when I think about my ancestors, I think about their determination and how they were able to tower over and deal with stepping stones and turn those hardships of stepping stones into stones of growth, stones of expectation and potential. So I want to just remind you, as my elders reminded me, if it didn't stop me, it shouldn't stop you. And so I am holding that knowledge and those words of wisdom in my heart and in my soul to remember that setbacks, I don't care if it's individual, organizational, political, are just setups for greater opportunities. And I remember that I have to hold on to my courage, hold on to my clarity like we all do, so that even in the worst of circumstances, we bend, but we don't break because we come from a legacy. We have an inheritance of strength as a foundation. And so I want you to think about that in your own life and remind yourself that you can overcome, you can navigate even in the worst political environments because nothing can stop you if you don't let it. The second lesson that I learned from my elders, they used to always say that, Sharon, the path for you is hidden in plain sight. Just think about that. The path for you is hidden in plain sight. And what they were trying to tell me was that all of the answers that I need to do what I have been called to do are already around me. Those answers are already within me. And so my elders always made sure that I could recognize how doubt and distraction showed up in my life. That I could recognize how societal expectations and cultural assumptions were blocking my purpose and blocking my ability to see the vision for my life. And so I just want to encourage you to remind yourself that your path, it looks like it's hidden, but it's available if we open our eyes and open our hearts to a new perspective. If we slow down and we pay attention to the whispers of our intuition and the nudges of our curiosity, we will see opportunities. We will experience people and places and things in ways that allow us to see our path forward. In other words, the clarity will come if we are open to discovery and open to creativity. The clarity will come if we just lean into our gifts, lean into our passions, make sure that we are paying attention, that we don't overlook experiences, and have a spirit of exploration. We will see that our path is right in front of us. So look at your life. Remind yourself that your path may be hidden in plain sight, because that wisdom has carried me almost 60 years, because I know that what I am seeking is already around me. What I am seeking is already within me. So the path that you're looking for is already available to you. So never forget that wisdom and never forget that adage, and let it live in your heart. The third thing they told me that is really helping me navigate this election result is, they used to say, Sharon, pick your own tools to sow the land. Pick your own tools to sow the land. Now, many of my elders were farmers, right? So many times they will give me analogies and wisdom based on farming, because that's what they knew best. And they used to tell me, just like every farmer chooses a tool suited for the soil, that I must and you must pick the right tool that works best for our individual unique journeys, because there's no such thing as one size fits all. That doesn't exist when we are talking about our dreams and our destinies. And so my elders always would remind me that I need to use the tools, which were my talents and abilities, that worked for me, so that I could sow the land of potential and possibility in my own life. And so I want you to think about, what tools do you need to gather? And your tools could be education, mentorship, apprenticeship, creativity, prayer. What are your tools that you can use to sow the seeds of your future? And we have to remember that when we understand our tools, we have to hold on to our tools so that we can resist the pressure to conform to societal norms. We can resist the pressure to have these um, inflated, unrealistic timelines, because our path is uniquely ours. And so think about your dreams, think about your tools or your instruments you need. Find what feels authentic to you. Use what feels that it's something that aligns with your values, and it makes you feel empowered and emboldened. Because just as my elders and my ancestors, they were able to innovate and create the tools that they need to make the magic in their own lives. I want you to do that, and I'm going to do that, even in the midst of an environment in a political climate that might try to undermine our goals, our dreams, our realities, and dismiss our identities. So pick your own tools to sow the land. The fourth thing that my elders used to always tell me that I hope resonates with you, they used to say, Sharon, protect your dream space because your dream space holds your destiny. I will repeat it again. Protect your dream space because your dream space holds your destiny. What they were trying to tell me in their own way is that your dreams and my dreams are sacred. And our dreams are something that we see better when we don't allow the world or society to contaminate our minds and our hearts. So we have to be really mindful and aware when we are being manipulated by the media. We have to be aware when we are being indoctrinated by rigid religion. We have to be aware when there's so much chaos in the world that we don't have time to think and to rest and to hope and to imagine. And I want you to really think about how can you push out and push away negativity, distractions, fear, so that your dream space, which is a mental and emotional sanctuary, I want you to remember that your dream space is a mental and emotional sanctuary where your dreams flourish. So, how can you protect that space as fiercely as a gardener shields delicate plants from frost and ice? I want you to think about that. So be mindful of your dream space, which means that you have to be mindful of your thoughts. You have to be mindful about the people who are around you and to make sure that you don't connect with people who don't believe in you, who don't believe in your vision, who don't believe in your ability to grow. You want to make sure that you don't allow people in your life who sow seeds of doubt and fear into you because your dreams are the blueprint, are the roadmap, are the illustration of what's possible for you in your life. So you have to guard and protect your dream space because your dream space is your bridge to your destiny. So something to think about. Another thing they told me that I just want to share with you is that they used to say to me and my friends that who you are is your strength, especially in adversity. Just think about that. Who you are is your strength, especially in adversity, which means that you have to know who you are. And it means that you have to know who you are and be grounded and anchored and rooted in who you are and which is your identity and how God sees you. Because in times of struggle, there is a temptation to compromise who you are to be included. There is a temptation to compromise who you are to accommodate and tolerate oppression and systemic um, ways of being that undermine your authenticity. So I want you to think about, do you know who you are? And ask yourself, what are your unique perspectives? What are your unique skills? What are your superpowers? And even if your superpowers are diamonds, right? How have the diamonds of who you are have been forged under pressure? How can you hold on to that? So lean into your identity, especially when life feels uncertain. And life feels very uncertain right now. Lean into your identity, your heritage, your values, and know that your personal journey is just not just your story, but your personal journey is the foundation of your strength. Your personal journey is where you accumulated and acquired the wisdom that you need to win, even in a political environment, in a climate that will try to ignore you, invisibilize you, negate your accomplishments. So make sure that you know who you are and remember to stay true to yourself. Because when you create a wellspring of power, based on your identity that will sustain you even in the most trying times. So, who are you? Who do you feel called to be? Who do you feel called to do? What are your superpowers, your strengths, your abilities, your talents, your perspectives? What makes you special? What are your values? Hold on to those, especially in times of struggle and adversity and vitriol, especially in a time when people want to dominate you. Know who you are so that you have the strength and the mental fortitude in the internal infrastructure to be you. And the last thing they told me that I want to share with you is that sometimes you need salt and sometimes you need salve to live in the world. Sometimes you need salt, sometimes you need salve to live in the world. Now you have to imagine when they told me that I didn't understand because sometimes you don't understand lessons until you have lived long enough and have had enough pain, but also enough success to understand the meaning of these words of wisdom. But what they were trying to tell me is that salt stings, and sometimes in life you need some salt to sting you because by stinging you, it will expose truths, political truths, emotional truths, spiritual truths. It will provoke you to be so that you're so uncomfortable. So it will highlight what needs to be healed and highlight what you need to know. But when you think about salve is not stinging, salve soothes. So in life, sometimes we need to be stung to move ourselves out of inaction or make sure we don't become stagnant or complacent or mediocre. But sometimes we need some salve to nurture us and to soothe us and to aid in our recovery. Because honestly, this election was painful. And we are still recovering emotionally, mentally, and spiritually from the results of this election because it highlighted that we are more divisive. It also highlighted that there are people who are committed to dominating others and oppressing others and marginalizing others. It still highlighted that people feel that some people are superior to others. And so we need some salt and some salve, and if we are discerning, we will understand that salt is necessary to help us confront hard truths, but we also need to balance that with salve so that we have compassion to foster not only our healing, but the healing of those around us. So be discerning about salt and salve, and also remember that sometimes salt and salve comes in the form of people and just not experiences. And so we want to make sure that we surround ourselves with both. We need some salt and we need some salve so we can challenge ourselves to to be the best version and vision of ourselves. Because remember, life requires both salt and salve, because there's wisdom that lies in knowing the what you need to confront, but it's also wisdom that lies in knowing what needs to be built up and revived and repaired and renewed and restored. So as you think about your life, I want you to pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to what's going on within you. Think about what's happening not only politically and systemically, but culturally. Think about what's happening religiously. I want you to think about what's happening intellectually, emotionally, financially, because we will encounter some challenges and some changes in the next 4 years. And it's going to be important for all of us to take these lessons from our ancestors and our elders, people who have been through harder situations than many of us have ever been through, and understand that our journey is an intricate balance of learning, unlearning, healing, growth. But just like our ancestors and elders, we possess the strength to persevere. We put we possess the wisdom to find our hidden path, even when our hidden path is right there in plain sight. And we have to activate the courage and the clarity to choose tools that align with who we are as people, but also align with our purpose. So protect your dream space, I want you to lean into your authenticity, discern the moments that call for salt, discern the moments which call for salve, because your life is a testament to resilience. Your life is a testament to hope. And your story, my story, our stories are still unfolding with chapters that will inspire people and motivate people and to confront people and challenge people so that people continue to dare to soar higher because the best is yet to come. Even in the midst of election results that maybe we did not want, or maybe election results that you did want. I know I did not want. I have to remember that the story is still unfolding and the chapters of your life and my life will continue to inspire people to be who they were called to be. So stay rooted, stay anchored, stay honest, keep learning, keep growing, keep healing, keep demanding, keep asking, keep inquiring. Because when you decide to soar and live life your own way, no election, no political climate can prevent you from doing what you have been called to do. I hope this special episode blesses you. And if you want to send me a message and let me know about how you're feeling in this political climate, please send me an email at sharon@sharonjamison.com because I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your perspectives and your unique beliefs and your unique realities as we all are navigating this amazing journey, even if it's tougher, called life. Thanks so much for being with me today, and blessings to you always.